Focused here.
Today I'll be walking you through the training program that got me from this to this in 12 weeks without a diet plan. Stay tuned.
Most training programs often share similar structures, but vary slightly based on individual need and objectives. Whether aesthetics is your preference or size is your goal, without a strong foundation, it really doesn't matter what program you follow. As a novice lifter, your main focus should be building a strong foundation. It really doesn't matter how long you've been in the gym. If you can't bench press 2 plates for 5 reps, squat 3 plates for 5 reps, or deadlift 4 plates for 5 reps without compromising form, you're still a novice lifter. The FALC program is a hybrid program that offers both essential compound lifts with hypertrophy days. It has a clearly defined weekly objectives. During the strength days, it's usually heavy on technique and functionality and conditioning the body to move through space as a unit, while hypertrophy days, the focus is mostly on muscle stimulation for growth. Here's what the program looks like. It's a 4-day upper-lower split, with the first 2 days just focusing on power and strength, and the last 2 days focusing on hypertrophy and plain old iron pump. Why did I choose the FALC program? Well, first of all, it was accessible to me on a free app. It passes the 80-20 rule. It had a good metric system where I can track my progress, and it fits my minimalistic approach to things. So this is what a typical day 1 of the program looks like. It's gonna be a lower strength. The first week, basically, you're just gonna be figuring out a lot of things. You're gonna be figuring out how to use the app, the weights you should be working with, your RPEs. You get me? So it's a learning curve. As you can see here, it's an intensive workout. Your rest days really won't seem resty unless you have a good diet plan. And that's where I messed up, because I really had no diet plan. So the rest days weren't working for me. Diet plan was the excuse that I kept making not to commit to anything. So I was like, there's no need to commit to the program because what am I gonna eat? So I was using that like as an excuse. So me going completely opposite of that was me just trying to prove to myself that it doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people will think it's unwise to do an intensive program without a diet plan, but I just trusted that my body was gonna adapt. I knew that if I just kept going, at some point my body's just gonna get used to the stress. But I wasn't gonna let that stop me from completing the program that I committed to. The second week is very intense, so you're gonna be burning out sooner than you think, especially when you keep it at the right intensity. When you find your footing, it's gonna start off shaky, but once you find your footing, it's gonna be a breeze. The second week of the program is actually when a lot of people quit, because it's very hard to keep up with the pace, especially keep it at a high intensity and without recovery, especially without a diet. I myself actually had a difficult time. I barely could finish one of the sessions. So the way I dealt with that was whatever sets that I missed the day before, I would just carry it over to the next one. And that's how I got over that challenge. You're gonna be looking forward to the last 2 days of every week, because you're just gonna be doing just typical gym rat activities, you know? Just your regular machines, bicep curls and all of that. You get. So some exercises weren't well suited to me, like example, instead of doing the standing calf raises, like I usually opt for using the leg press, because I can just feel my calves more when I use the leg press. So if the exercises are not giving you the desired effect, then you're allowed to find similar effective alternatives. The first 2 days of the program is going to be challenging, and the last 2 days is going to be fun. It's that delicate, reasonable balance that gives this program its uniqueness. It's challenging enough to stimulate growth, but yet fun enough to keep you interested and maintained. I mean, it goes without saying, the program does have plot holes, but it does cover all the essentials necessary for a strong foundation, especially for novice lifters like myself. Principles of this workout. Frequency. It's optimal to hit every muscle twice a week. Compound lifts usually emphasizes engaging a lot of larger groups of muscles to work in unison. The power aspect of this program is to stimulate adaptation by imposing demand in order to develop strength. Hypertrophy training just basically means doing high reps in order to accumulate volume and stimulate muscle growth. So these are the frequently asked questions about the program guidelines, and it's pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to be spending much time on here. The only things worth mentioning here are the RPE per set. So basically the RPE is the rate of perceived exertion. I'll be pasting a chart on here just to help you with that. It's basically the ideal intensity that you should be aiming to work at, and it says it should be around 8 or 9. So once you figure out the weights that you're working with, you're aiming to ideally keep your RPEs at 8 to 9, meaning that it's a vigorous activity or a very hard activity. And on the chart it says it's a very difficult to maintain the exercise intensity, and that you can barely breathe or speak a single word. So you're basically keeping your weights 2 reps shy of failure, and your RPEs is basically 1 step below the maximum effort. So you should not be going full tank on the weights or on the intensity, but you should be working ideally on the edge. If you've never tried a proper training program, or you've never tracked your workouts, or have a general disdain for the repetitive nature of tracking in general, then this app is for you. So here's an example, just the history of the workouts that I was doing. It's pretty easy to use, to be honest. As you can see, I didn't even know they had a calendar. All I was doing was just taking the workouts just day by day, and that's the rest for you. So if I click on the days that are plotted on the calendar, it's going to look something like this. This is just like one session. You see all the works that were done, it's all completed. And this is how it's going to look, and it has a timer that is going to be keeping track of how long the session took. So I'm going to walk you through on how to use this app. It's pretty simple, honestly. Example, let's say you pick this program, and this is the program that you want to do. All you got to do is just tap start at the right corner, the top right corner, and that's going to start running the clock. And you're just going to put the information in there. Like example, you're doing bent over rows, so how many kgs and how many reps, and you tick that once you finish. Then after that, let's say you finished your 1 hour session, what's going to happen is you're just going to go up there and just tap finish, and that's going to give you confirm your completion. And after that, you have a post. The funny thing is, people actually thought like I was manually writing down the workouts whenever I posted that on my stories. Feel me? So honestly speaking, I'm trying so hard. Like, I don't know if you can notice from my voice, but I'm trying so hard not to oversell this app. But in my genuine opinion, wallahi, I believe this app should not be free. There's no reason why this app should be free, so take advantage of it. And last but not least, shout out to my friend Imam for putting me onto this app. It was a game changer for me, and I hope it's a game changer for a lot more people after this.